I am Joe Senpai, and this is Crash Bandicoot. One of the categories any person, no item glitch, which is the effect of any person rude, and well, unfortunately, the incentive for keeping the sound effects activated wasn't met. But I'm gonna leave it activated just on the first section of the run. And this is gonna be as a respect signal for Mel Winkler, who was the voice actor for Aku Aku, the mask that is here with Crash, who unfortunately passed away yesterday. So in a respect signal, I'm gonna let the sound effects activated just to listen to the first Aku Aku's uh, voice line while we are on the game. So, well, before I start with the run, I'm gonna do a little setup. This is in order to reset the cycle. This is before we can start with the run. So what I'm gonna be doing here is that I'm gonna make that Crash loses a life on purpose, and then I'm gonna quickly quit the game and I'm gonna start again. So with this, I'm gonna reset the cycles. Since the cycles are global, so if I die right now and I quit the game and then I start another one, the cycles are gonna keep going. So the time is gonna start once I get the control Crash. But anyways, 3, 2, 1, go. So the sound effects just helps to reduce a little amount of time with the game because there are some cutscenes in the game that gets deactivated. Well, if I deactivate the sound effects, the cutscenes don't get played. But just for the first station, we're gonna have the sound effect because after this, we're gonna listen to one of the Aqua's voice line, and we're gonna make this. I'm gonna make that this run gets in the memory of Mel Winger, who was the voice actor to give voice to Aku, who, again, as I've said before I started my run, he unfortunately passed away yesterday at the age of 78. So, Crash Bandicoot 3 is I believe the third game in Crash Bandicoot franchise, the third game developed by Naughty Dog, and also the last platforming action game that were developed by them. And this starts after you finish with Crash 2 at 100% when you destroy the Cortex space station, the Cortex Vortex. So one of these things, a piece of the space station falls into the air, and it comes to the region where Uka Uka, the evil twin of Aku Aku, it's trapped there. So this makes that Uka Uka gets free. And well, I'm gonna keep quiet here because this is gonna be the only cutscene that we're gonna be listening to in all the game as a signal of respect for Mel Wrinkle. Wait, did I deactivate the sound effects? No, I deactivated. Why? Okay, I don't know why the cutscene wasn't played, but I'm just gonna enter again to this stage just to listen to one of his voice lines.
Crash, Coco, if you have already retrieved a levels crystal, then you will find a floating clock when you enter for the second time. This floating clock activates time trial mode. Grab it and the clock will start ticking. Race for the end to get the best time. But beware, some elements will change.
Rest in peace, Mel Winter. Thank you so much for giving the voice to Aku Aku, one of my favorite video game characters. And so, well, here it's supposed that I was gonna play the dialogue when he says "Well done" as we get our first crystal, but for some reason it looks like the game decided to skip it. I haven't pressed any button to skip it, or probably forgot where was the moment where I was gonna get that dialogue. Since it's been a long time since I have played this with the sound effects, and I have deactivated. And now up from this point, we're not gonna have any of the cutscenes. The reason why the sound effects are deactivated is because for some reason in the game, when you just deactivate the sound effects, the cutscenes that get played between some stages, depending on the amount of crystals or elements that you have, or depending on the stages that you're gonna start to play, those cutscenes also get played. So, okay, I gotta drop the input. I don't know why. So due to that, that's the reason why you deactivate the sound effect. This saves like 1 minute because you don't get this cutscenes. And let's see if I can get the cuddle skip. If I get it, I'm gonna save 5 seconds. And no, unfortunately I haven't got this. What I'm trying to do here was a setup where I was gonna be able to be on the top. I was gonna try to make that Coco went to the roof on the stage, and I was trying to make that she was on the top of the screen. So with this, I was gonna make that the automatic jump we're gonna have at the end were more higher than intended jump. So with this, I was gonna make that obviously Coco jumps higher, and just to make that she reaches the portal. And with this, I just if I should have done this correctly, I should have skipped that Coco cutscene, saving 5 seconds. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that. Anyways, this is just for a marathon, so I think it's fine. And now, well, stage number 5, it's a very boring stage because I just need to keep pressing the cross button and that's everything. You don't need to do anything else. So here I just need to keep, well, I'm gonna keep going forward, and I'm gonna do a personal challenge which is called Don't Break Any Boxes. And this is consists in just completing this without breaking any boxes. That's a personal challenge, nothing interesting, but it's like something cool to do sometimes. So going back to the history of the game, once Uka Uka is free, he met Cortex, and obviously he was met with him because he failed twice and dominated the world. But he feels pleased because he now was free. He wasn't anymore in his prison. So now, using the Nefarious Trophy time machine, they are planning to travel around time in order to collect the crystals, gems, and relics and use their power to dominate the world. And obviously, as the good guys, Crash and Coco needs to get all those items first before Cortex and his minions get it first. And well, this is also the first game that introduces Coco as playable character. She was introduced in Crash Bandicoot 2. And now we're gonna start with the first stage of the game, and thanks Crash for avoiding what input I was trying to make that I was pressing in order to make that you move to another side. And here we get introduced with the principal technique movement that we're gonna be having in the game, which is called neutral slide jump. This is basically just make the slide, release the D-pad or analog stick, whatever you're using, and before the slide finishes, you're gonna press the jumping button, which in this case is the cross button. With this, what you're gonna do is that you're gonna keep the speed of the slide on the air, and this is a faster way of movement instead of just keeping walking. And also, something important here is to collect the masks, because as we can see, we can enter into a kind of invincibility phase, and at the same time, we can move slightly faster. So this is important here. In Crash Bandicoot 2, the technique is the neutral slide spin, which is kind of similar, but instead of pressing the button, you press the square or R1 buttons in order to perform a spin. But on Crash 2, the invincibility mask nerfs the neutral slide spin, so on that game, you prefer to don't have the 3 masks, but on Crash 3, it's very important to have the 3 masks, because with this you're gonna be able to move faster. Also, I'm gonna be mixing some point movements with a zigzagging, which is basically mashing up left, up right, and all those kind of combinations, because with this I can increase by a little bit the speed of Crash. And now I have the first kind of chasing level, which is Dynamite. This is the last stage that I need to beat on this warp room. Like in Crash Bandicoot 2, you can complete the stages on any order. You just need to get the crystals. Those are the important things. So on each warp room you can go in whatever order you want to go. So I'm gonna be going for a specific order. And also I need to try to keep as much masks as I can. If I lose some masks, I'm gonna be taking some backup routes, because some stages has 2 masks, some other ones just have 1 mask. There are some few stages that has 3 or more masks. But usually those kind of straight stages are the ones where I'm gonna be trying to get this as backup stuff. I'm so close to die. Fortunately, that wasn't the case. So doing a mix of all of these movement techniques is supposed that I can make the Crash moves faster. And in going back to the category, as I've said before, any person item glitch, this is intended any person route, which just consists on getting all the 25 crystals with major glitches, and then you need to defeat the Cortex, and that's everything. My PB on this category is 51 minutes and 7 seconds, so based on my estimate I have a good amount of time for a good amount of failures, because I know how I am on this game on a resetless way. So hopefully this is not gonna be a bad run. And talking about resetless time, this is gonna be like a 53 or 54. And with this, we can save some minutes in the marathon. Yay! And now it's time to start with the first boss, which is Tiny Tiger. And this is a pretty easy boss. And there's an interesting glitch here, because if I skip the music really quick, the music is not gonna start to play. So this is normal. The game is not playing any sound because the music hasn't started to play, and obviously we have the sound effect deactivated. Now, if I get to this corner, for some reason the lions doesn't detect me and doesn't attack me. So I'm gonna be doing this in all these 3 paces. So 5, 6, 7 jumps with Tiny, and we're done. Something curious on Crash Bandicoot Instant Trilogy, which are the remake collection from the from the platformer PlayStation Crash Bandicoot games. Here, if we try to do this, the public is going to start to throw us slices of cheese, like a signal that the developers were aware about what do the speed nerds do in this game. And also, every time that I defeat a boss, I'm going to get a power-up, so I get here the Super Body Slam, and with this I have completed the first warp room of the game. So now it's time to move to the second warp room. Here, as I've said before, the masks are very important because you want to start the stage 7 with 2 masks. So since this is the case, since I have 2 masks, I'm gonna start with this stage. The backup stage on this warp room is the stage number 6, since that stage has 3 masks. Yeah, I'm gonna take this a little safe. And also on those platforms, suppose that I'm gonna be jumping automatically, but if I spin, I'm not gonna do that. So the reason why you want the masks here is due to this. Because in these sections with those rails, you can move faster if you have the masks. It's also a spin there, so I'm not gonna be jumping automatically. I'm not gonna be bouncing there. And now you can compare the speed you get with the masks in here on these rails compared with not having the invincibility pace. So that's the important thing on this stage. This is the main reason why you want to start this with 2 masks. Yeah, we're gonna take this a little bit safe. Also, there's a gem in the background, but we don't require that for this category, so we're fine. Now it's stage number 9. That's another stage with... Well, basically it is just 1 mask, but it has a second mask that can be used as a backup. So for example, if after the invincibility phase I should have lost a mask, I can use the second backup mask that this stage has. I say that mask is a backup since that mask is an alternative route that you usually follow when you go for the full completion of the game, which is 105%. Which is basically finishing the game twice, because you need to do the time trials that Aku Aku told us before about what we can do when we re-enter the stage where we have completed. Also, with the another slide jump, I can do higher jumps and I can reach some far away places, such as that platform. I don't need it to activate it. I wasn't on the necessity of spinning on the iron box in order to activate that platform, because with another slide jump, I just can't reach it. Yeah, really quick. And also something good about this. No, this was bad. Nice aiming, I should say, but it's fine. It's fine. Here I'm just gonna take these masks as a backup, because probably I'm gonna need it on the next warp room. So what I was saying is that the good thing about the masks is that we can freeze some cycles. For example, the cycles where the walls get closed, or these lights that triggers some arrows that get shoot on screen. I can freeze those cycles having the invisibility pace. Unfortunately, I have died because my thumb was a bit dumb in order to try to find the correct spot to move Crash. So anyways, we're fine. The important stage with the masks were the stages 7 and 9, so I had completed stages, so we're done with that. That's not like a big deal. And now we have played the Orient Express, which was a 3rd stage. Now let's play Magna Run, the 2nd and last stage, where Goku is gonna be riding Pura, which is this little tiny tiger. I hope that you have understood that awful joke with the words, because I was doing a reference to the first boss of this game. So here, something I forgot to mention is that when the way that you move faster here, you just keep pressing the R1 or circle button to go faster. And believe it or not, you save time. You go more faster if you keep jumping because each jump saves 1 frame. And considering that this game runs 30 frames per second, so you can get an idea about how many frames we can save. Probably it's not so much, but remember that on any speedrunning, any frames matter. If you don't want to believe me, talk to the SMB1 community about any person runs, and you will tell to me if the frames are not important. So once I finish this stage, I'm gonna move now to the stage number 8, which is Hog Wild, and this is gonna be the first racing stage that we're gonna be having on the game, because here basically what I'm gonna be doing is that I'm gonna be on, I'm gonna be riding on a motorbike, and the concept of this stage is different, talking about the way that you're gonna gain the crystal. So what is gonna happen here is that since this is gonna be a race, I need to finish on first place. Otherwise, I'm not gonna get the crystal, and I'm gonna be kick it out of the stage, and I need to re-enter again. So that's gonna happen if I lose, and also I need to do this again. Definitely, this is gonna take a huge amount of time. So hopefully I'm gonna be able to complete this stage the first time. It's not a big deal for me, and also there in some places of the stage we're gonna have these turbo pads that if I move over them, I'm gonna be just on one wheel, and this is a faster way of movement on the game, so I need to be careful here. And probably I'm gonna keep quiet on the rest of the stage, so we have like 15 seconds if the announcer has something to say. Well, if the host has something to say. Otherwise, I'm just gonna keep quiet.
Alrighty, well, I'm just gonna remind everybody that we've got the incentive for the Godzilla Kaiju Basketball Side Challenge coming up a little bit later today in a few hours. This is still only $5 off. We're pretty close to that. All those donations, as well as all subs, bits, etc., for the channel during this entire marathon, is going to No Kid Hungry to make sure that kids are able to get plenty of food during this coronavirus crisis. So please do get your donations in if you are able. Thank you very much.
And I just have realized that I forgot to complete this stage, so we're fine with the masks. So I got confused for a little bit, and this is the reason why you keep this stage as a backup stage. So this is not bad. We're still being fine. I haven't lost time, just a few seconds, but that's understable. So here in GWiz, this is the back. As I've said before, this is the backup stage from this warp room, because this stage has 3 masks. I have catched the first 2 of them. The third mask is gonna be, well, I'm close to the third mask, so I shouldn't be so worried about that. I just need to be careful and try to keep this mask, well, the 2 masks that I'm having right now. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to get the invincibility pace. And sometimes that frog likes to be a bit troll with me and wanna touch me in order to lose one of my masks. So I used to be careful with the frog, but for now, looks like the frog was nice with us. So we are fine. I just need to complete this stage. This is the crystal. But I need to get on the stage, so I need to get out. Also, I need to be careful with these nitro boxes at the end, because sometimes they like to be a bit troll. And well, now that I have got all the 5 crystals, it's time to move to Dingodile, which is the second boss of the game, and we're gonna introduce a new mechanic here. So this is a glitch at high jump. So what I'm gonna be doing here is basically I'm gonna ignore the regular route of, well, the intended route of defeating the boss. So what I'm doing here is that I at the same time that I do this slide, after I do the slide, I press the jump and spin button. So with this, I can do a higher jump than the usual ones, because if you can see here, I cannot go inside of these walls, because it's supposed at first Dingodile is gonna throw some fireballs outside to the outside section where it's supposed that Crash is, and then he's gonna start to destroy some parts of the walls that are protecting him, and with that, suppose that we need to access. So if we do this, we can save like almost a minute, because really this boss is so slow, and after I defeat him, we get double jump and power up. And now this is gonna be a bless RNG moment, because for some reason the game can crash on the next stage I'm gonna be entering, which is Double Header, stage 15. And the reason of the crash is because the console needs to load a lot of elements. Fortunately, the game hasn't crashed for me yet, or I haven't got any crash in this stage, but I have a backup save file just in case that it can happen at any point. And usually they crash. Okay, there we go. The game hasn't crashed. So usually, but this game just had one mask, and usually when I have seen that this game, well, the game can crash on this stage, it's usually on the 105% category. So that's the reason why there are some 105 runners who uses to save the game before entering to this stage. But there has been some occasions where on no IG runs the game has crashed when any runner says to this stage. Even a former world record holder, former world record got a freeze on the stage. The game freezed like for 2 seconds and then it loaded normally, which is something really curious and amazing at the same time. And after this, we're gonna start obviously with the problems. Have you seen these enemies with, those enemies with 2 heads? Well, there's something curious here, because in the Japanese version of the game, those enemies were modified and just have 1 head. The reason of this is because Sony Japan thought that was a bit creepy for Japanese players. So also the name of the stage changed, because as you have seen, Double Header is just mostly like another game with the words about that talks specifically about that enemy, because that's the only stage where we're gonna be watching that double head enemy. And yes, keep dropping my inputs, because the game for some reason, the game naturally drops some of your inputs, so I need to be careful sometimes. So if you see that I lose my momentum or that I cannot perform some movement, it's just due to that. But I can manage to deal with this thing, so this shouldn't be a real problem. Now we're gonna ride this little dinosaur. It's not faster to use it, but it's cool to ride the dinosaur. Plus I do some zigzags because this helps us to move a little bit faster. I make damage boosting here, so I lose really quick the dinosaur, because in this section I'm gonna lose it, but this animation takes more time. I'm gonna move a bit safe here. Uh-oh, there we go. And also again, this stage just has 1 mask. The backup stage here is stage 12, which is an underwater section. And on that stage, usually you cannot use the invincibility masks. So if I access to that stage and I have 2 masks, instead of having an aqua mask box, I'm gonna have a question mark box that is just gonna give to me 10 Wumpa fruits. So just in case, I prefer to keep that as a backup stage. And now we're gonna start with more problems, because this stage, some stuff are kinda tricky to do for me, because I really suck doing some of my movements on the game, but the show needs to continue, so let's keep doing this. So here what I wanna do is just to save a half of a second. I have pressed the cross button, so I just can jump outside of these rails, and I have stepped on the genie, so the genie has disappeared. And with that, I have saved a half of a second. Nice. Definitely, that was a very good speedrunning improvement. And here lies the crystal that we need to get. And now, Ghost Real Nightmare is gonna begin here, because I'm gonna be using the invincibility pace of the mask, which I'm not so good on this stage having the invincibility pace, but let's give it a try. Also, I can use the sound cues to know when those defects gonna finish, and looks like I got trolled by the game. Thank you so much. And I have died, but it's fine. I have completed the important stages with the masks. So here, after this, I'm just gonna go on stage 12. I'm gonna get that extra mask. So I'm gonna bless in order I don't die, and I have died again. Nice aiming that I'm having with the carpets. Okay. Third try. There are some people who say that the third attempt is the best one, so we can consider that third try is the first attempt, so let's do it. We can do it. Usually for Seismic proposes, I decide just to wait for I decide to wait until the carpets stop moving, well, keeps moving, so I can move safely, but I wanted to do that on a quicker way, so for trying to be quicker in my movements, I have lost some time. Now, let's swim again. Fortunately, this is the second and last underwater stage, because those stages are so annoying. So let's keep moving underwater for just a little bit. And also for the completion of the game, something that I don't like about this stage is the fact that once you get all the boxes on the main route, you need to go back because there's an iron box that you need to activate. Well, it's a switch that you need to activate in order to activate a TNT box on a previous section of the stage. Then you need to explode that box, and then you need to go for another route, and it's a bit annoying for me. But at some point I'm gonna learn the full competition of this game. This is the second mask that I was talking about. Well, the only mask from this stage that I was talking about. If I should have entered this stage with 2 masks instead of that, I should have got a question mark box with 10 Goomba fruit. So that's the reason why you keep this stage as a backup stage. I was so close to be trolled also. Thanks to that fish. I thought for a moment that I was gonna lose the mask, and I was gonna be mad with myself because I saw that coming and I went to see damage. So the good thing about this is that that hasn't happened, so we are fine. And we are reaching the end of this stage, so we are good. And after this, I'm gonna be presenting you another annoying stage, which is the next stage is Road Crash, the stage 14. And the reason why it's annoying is because, again, this is gonna be a motorbike stage. There are just 3 of this stage that we're gonna be watching in this category. But the problem is that it's not the longest one. Orange Asphalt, the stage is the more longest from this kind, but there's a lot of obstacles, and the enemies are really well. The other races here are so annoying, and at the same time, the road's so tight. There's a lot of curves, so this is gonna be another probably. Well, probably this is definitely this is my second least favorite stage of this game, because as you're gonna see, the road is not like something good to try to move quickly as you can. We're gonna be watching a lot of obstacles that are not gonna be helping to us to reach the first place as quickly as we can. So again, this is gonna be another stage where I'm gonna be taking a little break, and I'm just gonna try to focus and finish this. So we're gonna have like 1 minute of silence starting from now, at least for my part.
Alright, well then I'll just take a moment to remind everybody that we do have some awesome prizes that are available as well, if there's anything everybody is interested in. We've got some Sonic the Hedgehog Perlers, open till about 8 a.m., some Celeste Perlers, as well as an EverDrive N8 Pro for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Okay, probably I'm gonna be donating for that EverDrive. That's gonna be something good. That's a really good incentive, so I'm gonna donate after I complete my run. Remember that detonations are for a good cause, and I was distracted and I missed that turbo pad, so this is the I don't know if I can consider this as a problematic or something like that, but if I get a little mistake here, I'm gonna lose the race. Fortunately, that wasn't the case, but I was so close to lose it. I haven't moved correctly on this track, so I was so close to fail it, but fortunately, I was able to beat this and the first attempt. So now let's meet the big mind, the big brain behind the time machine that we're using, Nefarious Trophy. And again, we're gonna have a similar glitch like on the first boss battle with the music, but the game's gonna start to be played in some seconds. Just the music gets delayed and that's everything. Something I forgot to mention is that on the Japanese release of the game, looks like this music glitch was fixed in the first boss fight, but on the Japanese release, again, we have this same glitch with Nefarious Trophy. Something I forgot to mention is are the differences between the releases of the game, but I'm gonna be doing that on next stages. So here in this boss fight, just 3 cycles again. First, the Forest is gonna start to throw some steam balls, then some steam rays, and that's gonna be everything. And I don't know how I have lost that mask. That's new for me. I haven't put attention to that before. So this is gonna affect a little bit the route. I'm just gonna go for backup stage, which I'm not so a big fan of the backup route that I'm gonna be taking, but it's a backup route, so we need to go for it, because I was planning to start directly with stage 20 of the game. I was so close also to lose the mask again. So, well, the backup route is just gonna be another water stage, like on stage 5. And well, once I defeat the Kurumi's father, I get this spin tornado, which changes the way that I make the spin, so I can be on the air for a couple of seconds. If somebody has understood my awful joke about saying that Nefarious Trophy was Kurumi's father, probably you haven't seen Dead Alive. And I'm gonna give you the reason you haven't watched it. It's a good anime, I really recommend it. So, getting back to the topic again, just keep pressing the cross button and go straight as you should go on the stage, following this big yellow arrow that we are gonna be having on the top of the screen, because if you can notice, in all the environment of the stage, probably you're gonna get lost really easy. And well, the proof that you can get lose without the arrow is that when you get the relics, you can access to additional stages or the secret exits, or well, yeah, secret exits. I don't know how to define that, but you can access to some previous stages, but from a different point, so you can get some extra stuff. And there's a way to access to the stage 31, which is another stage similar to this, but there's no arrow on the top of the screen, so that you're gonna get lost really easy on that stage. And don't lose the mask. Thank you. I thought for a moment that I was gonna lose the mask, so fortunately that hasn't happened, so we're good, we're fine. And I just need to keep pressing the cross button so I can keep going forward. I used to use a lot the sound cues to start to sing nonsense things related to the run or to the game or to the cow that I'm doing the runs, but unfortunately with the setup that I'm having, I cannot listen to the TV correctly, because otherwise my microphone is gonna catch the sound from the TV. So unfortunately, I cannot do that. That awful moments, but the good thing about this is that you are not gonna listen to me singing annoying things. So that's something good for the moment. Amazing, and also for these hours of the morning, because we're closer to the 4 a.m. on my time zone. What the? Almost 4 a.m. Well, usually this is the moment of my life when I wonder, what am I doing at these hours of the night or morning? And I used to say that, well, in this case I am helping for a good cause, so it's good to keep playing video games at these hours of the day. So now the important stage, which is Tomb Raider, stage 20, and definitely this is the biggest example you can get on the game about why it's very important to keep the masks, because here we're gonna be watching a better example about freezing cycles, because as you can see, there's a cycle where in subsections of the game the water is gonna start to rise up and rise down. So I'm gonna keep here just to be safe. I know that I can reach the stairs without problems, but I haven't run this game in a very good amount of time, so for now I don't feel so confident about some of my movements. So here we're close to the section where lies the only masks, the only mask that the stage, that this stage has. Okay, I have missed the moment, so I'm gonna wait until the water rises down again. So I'm gonna be catching this. And while I have the invincibility pace, the water is not gonna rise up. So this is the important stage where you are gonna like to have to start with two masks, because with this, as you are watching, the water is not rising up. So you can save some time here, moving a bit quickly. Sorry if I forget how to speak sometimes. You don't imagine how many problems I have been part of, because sometimes I forget how to say some things in English. Amazing. But getting back to the important topic, so this is the spin tornado we have unlocked. With this, I just can fly like this on the stage, and I can win some time comparing this with the regular walking, or while I can move also a bit faster just doing this instead of just waiting until the water stops rising down like this. Just finish with this, and I do this really quick, and there we go. Tomb Raider completed. Now it's time to move with Spacinator, because I know that a lot of people like this kind of stages. So let's move now to the stage 16, which is Spacinator. So here on this stage there's just one mask, and it's very hidden. It's behind these boxes. And also you can skip this platform section, but I'm gonna take this a bit safe, because recently for some reason Crash has decided to don't do that skip correctly. Well, in this case the cycles from the doors are getting freezed, and also the cycle where this guy started to throw that big blocks gets freezed for a bit, so that's something good about having the masks. I move on the sides. Okay, since I received damage, this cycle freeze a bit, so I have lost one mask. This is not like a big deal. There's just one stage that I needed to use the mask, but I'm gonna be fine. This is usually the most these two stages are usually the most important ones to use the invincibility base, so we are fine. My miss local. So now let's just keep jumping, let's keeping forward on the stage. Te lavaste la cara y el mono, no te lavaste la cara y el mono, no. And that's everything from the stage. I just need to avoid these monkeys, but it's fine. It's not like a big deal. So now, Future Frenzy, stage 19. This is we're gonna start with the futuristic zone, section of the game. And there's also just one mask here. But since I don't have the invincibility, since I have lost one mask, I just have one. I cannot get the invincibility base, but it's gonna be good. I'm gonna try to be a bit safe, but out from this point it doesn't matter if I keep the masks or not. But I'm gonna try to keep them just to be a bit safe during the run. I just can't escape these steam walls. Well, not steams, but It's how is this called? Is yes, I'm forgetting how to speak in English. What a nice. It's just in case that nobody has wondered this. My main language is not English, and it doesn't matter how much I practice it. I'm gonna forget some words a lot of times and a lot of moments in my life. So well, the point is that I was just avoiding that walls that that those ray no well those obstacles, and we are fine with that. Sorry if I don't know why I forgot the name of those things when I used to command this a lot of times by myself, and I used to say all this stuff fine. And also something good. Okay, it doesn't matter that I have those masks. Some people worked on. So also something good about the spin tornado is that I can skip some sections where I need to wait until some platforms appears or some stuff like that uses to happen. And also something I forgot to mention is that the stage 18 is the last one where we're gonna be watching Coco, so we haven't say goodbye to her in a good amount of time, and also that's a good signal that I haven't went for that backup route for a good amount of time. Laser, thank you so much on the chat for telling me that. I am feeling more dumber than usual because I forgot the word. I don't know why I forget that the laser word. I don't know what is happening in my mind. I'm trying to focus on the game, but looks like my mind at the same time don't want to do that. But anyway, let's continue. And I was lying. I have forgot that stage 17, which is Bye Bye Flames, is also a stage where we're going to be playing as Coco. And again, another different kind of. I don't speak German. I was studying German 2 years ago, but I forgot almost all of the stuff that I have to learn. So this concept, well, this stage, the concept is that I just need to destroy these blimps. Fortunately, the blimps have a big hitbox, so I shouldn't be worried about. And also, if these enemies start to shoot them against me and I receive a hit, for each hit I'm gonna receive 1% of damage, so it's fine. There are some balloons that refill my health, but on this stage I'm not gonna need all of this, so it's something easy. I shouldn't be worried about this. And also, when I destroy all the blimps, I'm gonna get the crystal. And after this, let's say goodbye to Coco. Goodbye, Coco! And also, it doesn't matter that I should have keep the masks here, because this stage quits all my masks. So, goodbye, Emoto. Sayonara. And now it's time to face Engine, which is the fourth boss on the game, and as on the previous game, on Crash Bandicoot 2, I used to say that this is the real boss of the game. And I have lied. This is definitely the very last stage with Coco. So here in Engine, he's gonna have 2 phases. First, we need to destroy this big mecha robot that he's using. And as you are watching this is not something complicated. We're gonna have a big hitbox zone and good moment where I just can shoot to him. And now Pura's gonna come with me, and I'm gonna have some powerful shootings. And this is the problem. This is the second phase, is the one that takes more time for me. So again, I just need to destroy all of these things that are throwing missiles and beams against me, and this is gonna be everything for the stage. And I need to destroy all these bullets. I'm not so worried about this. I still have a good amount of health, and usually what I need to try to do is that on the first phase I don't need to lose any amount of health. So since I haven't lost anything, that was good, because I was able to defeat quickly the first phase of Engine boss. And there we go. Fourth boss defeated, and now it's time to move to the last warp room of the game. We're getting close to the end of this run, and we have unlocked here the fruit bazooka, which is not like an important power up, but I'm gonna be using it just like a couple of times in some stages just to destroy some stuff that's far away from me when I can wait some time before I move to those sections. And now Mad Bombers, the king of the pace killers of this game and category, because the concept is gonna be the same like on Bye Bye Blames, but the problem is that this plane has a reduced hitbox on. I just need to shoot to the motors, and that's just the only section where you can shoot to these planes. And also the AI is more aggressive here. For each hit we're gonna be receiving 4% of damage, and I don't know if it's just something that my mind wanna make me think or something like that, but I feel like if I catch a balloon to refill my health, which is gonna help me at 50% of health, what is gonna happen is that simply the enemies get more aggressive. But I just need to keep a focus here and we're gonna be fine. There are just 5 planes in total. And also it's not like a big deal to shoot to the enemies, but at the same time it's a bit tricky. And just to keep saying some stuff related to the game, I'm playing this with the D-pad. I have those 2% of damage, that's something really weird to happen on the game. So we are blessed to watch this amazing moment of the game. And also, I'm almost at the half of my health, so I'm gonna catch this balloon. Unless this is just the last plane that I need to defeat, I'm gonna be fine. So I'm playing this with the D-pad. I'm using a PS1 controller which doesn't have analog sticks. The reason behind this is because for some reason, and most of on PS1 games, the analog stick is so slow in the movements. Plus, with the D-pad, we can do some stuff like the zigzagging and stuff like that. And also, talking about the different versions of the game has the American, Japanese, and European release. Obviously, European release, you want to buy it. It runs at 25 FPS. But like in Crash 2, Crash moves faster on the PAL version of the game. But instead of we don't run the PAL version because the game received some slight modifications that turn the game a bit harder. So it's not the optimal version to run. And also the Japanese and American release doesn't have so much differences, but for some reason each loading time is 0.3 seconds slower on the Japanese release. So if I should be playing this in Japanese release, by default I was gonna lose 18 seconds. And after you play in Mad Bombers, you wanna take this stage, because at this stage you can find 4 masks, which is something really amazing. Or well, you can play first this stage, complete the other ones, and then at the end you can play Mad Bombers. But I'm not a fan of Mad Bombers, so I prefer just to complete this stage first, so I don't need to face it once I have completed the other stages. And again, invincibility base.
We have a $22.49 donation from Summer B76. Comment says, "Feed the children." Thank you very much for that donation.
Let's keep donating for a good cause, because because children need some food. Food is important for kids, so keep donating for a good cause. So here, again, I don't have anything important to say. I just have completed this section of the stage where I am gonna get the mask. I was so close to die because I was moving wrongly. And well, now another futuristic stage, stage 21 again, another stage where you're gonna need the mask. That's the reason why you wanna play first Boglight, which gives to us all of these masks. And after this, we're gonna have a very special stage, but I'm not gonna say anything about it until we reach that stage. So as we can see, this is another futuristic stage, and there's just one mask. I'm just gonna... I forget that I can't use that I have the Fruit Bazooka, so I should have used it instead of waiting for the cycle here. and just try to think that something like this was gonna happen on future Forensic. And that's all. That's all with invincibility pace on this game, because we're not gonna watch any of this on the rest of the game. After this stage, I'm just gonna have another 2 stages that I need to complete. So on those stages, we're not gonna have invincibility pace. So this was the last opportunity we got to watch that and enjoy for an alternative soundtrack for a little bit. Awesome. As you can see, there's a lot of obstacles and enemies here, so if you wanna try to keep your masks, probably this is gonna be a hard task to complete. So you need to have a good timing with what are you doing. Otherwise, you're gonna receive damage and you're gonna lose your masks. And I feel so confident about that because I am really aware about how I am, mostly on these last stages, so there's a higher chance that I can lose the masks, but as I said before, that doesn't matter because on the next stages, on the stages that we need to complete, the masks are not important. So I'm just gonna skip this guy, and let's reach the end of the stage. Now, Flaming Passion, stage 23, and this is a stage that I like to mention on my splits that it's a backup base killer. Because everything went fine during the run, this stage probably is gonna tell to you better luck next time. You don't feel it's gonna be easy. So Flaming Passion, also known on the community, on the Crash Bandicoot community as Flaming Ass. Sorry for that rude word, but I need to say it. The reason why this is called like this is because from the beginning, this stage doesn't have any mask, so there's no possibilities of getting the invincibility pace on this stage. And second, again, a lot of obstacles, enemies, platforms. A good mix of stuff that is gonna make you lose time and probably lives. Again, Fruit Bazooka, okay, I missed a hit. I was gonna say Fruit Bazooka saved the day, but I missed it. That's fine. I was trying to do a little glitch here. 1, 2, 3, let's go. So with that I can avoid a platform. So here I'm gonna be taking the safe, I'm gonna ride the carpet, and the game decided to drop my jumping input. Nice. But it's fine, as I've said before, you don't need the masks up to this point, so that was fine. Wasn't so bad at all. 1, 2, 5, okay, let's go for a little bit. Also, did I mention that once I have defeated... anyways, did I mention that when I defeated thing that I got the double jump? If I haven't said that, sorry about that, but sometimes I even forgot what I had to take as a breakfast. Now I'm thinking about this, I don't remember which was my breakfast. 1, 2... Oh, no. Okay, I'm just gonna try to focus. This is where I end up being. This is gonna be like a 55, I guess. 54, 55. Yeah, like a 55 is gonna be 55, 56. Okay, I don't know why the game is dropping a lot of my inputs right now. It's dropping my inputs, definitely. There we go. Okay, you just need to be careful here because I have died. Once I reach this spot, I'm gonna use again the Fruit Bazooka, I defeat this enemy. 1, 2, 3, there we go. I reach the next carpet. Again, Fruit Bazooka. This guy is gonna be backwards, so I just can defeat it quickly. And there we go. Now, Orange Asphalt stage 20 is the only one that I haven't completed here, and this is gonna be the last motorbike stage that we're gonna be watching here. There's a 4th stage, but that's just valid for the 105 person category, because there's no crystals there, and for no item glitch, the thing that matters are the crystals, because this is gonna lead to us to reach the last. Well, this is gonna help to us to reach the boss fights. And I forgot to get the initial boosting here, so we got a slow start, and now the police vehicles are gonna start to move, so more challenges are approaching here in the run. So as I said before, again, this is a long stage. There's also, again, nothing interesting to say, but at least comparing this with Road Crash, this is a pretty chill stage because it's long, but it's not so hard to complete as Road Crash. But again, I'm just gonna make my throat takes a little break so I can keep calm for a little bit while I try to get focused while I'm playing. Because even that's something I don't believe in myself, so if an announcer has something to say, this is a very good moment. And yes, I'm playing this on a PS2 because the PS2 consoles have an option to read the PS1 discs on a faster way. But originally this is a PS1 game that's been playing on a PS2, but I'm using a PS1 controller with no analog sticks.
Alright, yeah, I'll take a moment while you're finishing the level up then to remind everybody that we do still have some really cool prizes. We've got the Sonic Pearlers that'll be running for a few more hours, the Celeste Pearlers that run into the evening. That NES EverDrive is also up for grabs, as well as a Retro Tink, which allows you to connect your old school consoles through HDMI. And just letting everybody know that any donations you go towards trying to win any of those prizes, as well as all of our ad and bit revenue throughout the marathon here, is all going to No Kid Hungry to make sure that kids are able to get meals during this coronavirus crisis.
Okay, last stage of the game, which is the last boss fight, which is against Neo Cortex, and we're gonna have a little flashback from the first Crash Bandicoot game, because this is similar. The boss fight is a bit similar. Here, well, but with a slight difference. First, what's gonna happen is that Cortex is gonna start to throw us some beams, then he's gonna throw some mines, and after he finishes throwing the mines, his shield is gonna be deactivated for a bit. He's gonna have problems with his shield, so that's a good moment where we can get close to him with perform a spin, and we can move him to the middle of the stage, making that he receive damages. And also, I need to be aware about the position of the masks because they're gonna be fighting against them. And if I get closer to a section where they are moving, obviously I'm gonna die. And also, obviously, on this stage, if you enter with masks, you cannot have the mask protection because the mask is fighting against its evil brother. But on this last phase, we're gonna be using the masks in our favor because we're gonna be doing something that's gonna help to us. Because in this last phase, the masks are gonna start to go to the point where Crash is. So I'm gonna be putting on a specific spot on a bit where the mines are. When Cortex is gonna put the mines. So with this, the mask explodes the mines, and I don't need to get worried about those, and it's gonna be okay. And the time is gonna finish once I press the triangle button to skip the dial text box about when I get the speed shoes, and time. Okay, 63 I call it. Because this was gonna be like a 55, but I decided to have dialogue with Uka Uka in memory of his voice actor, Mel Winkler. So the game has two endings. This can be considered as the bad ending of the game because here, obviously, we are not listening to this because we have the idea with sound effects. So the sound effects are linked with the voice lines. So what he's telling to us, Cortex here, is that he cannot believe that he was defeated again, and probably he needs to take some vacations on a faraway island. And now Uka Uka tells to us that we haven't beat them already because we need to collect the gems and the relics so we can defeat them, obviously. And when you get all those items and you fight against them, you get the real ending where the machine gets destroyed, and the world is saved, and Infaris Cortex and Neocortex turns into babies, and they were put in another time section of the history of the world. We don't know where, and that's everything. And that is where the Crash Adventures finishes on the PS1, because after this game, Crash Team Racing was released in 1999. This game was from 1998, and well, after that, Naughty Dog stopped developing the Crash Bandicoot games, and then everybody knows what happened with one of the best PlayStation franchises ever made. So with this, I I have completed all of my runs on this marathon. I run 3 games some days ago. On Thursday, I have run Snowbirds and Pepsiman, and then I was asked to also run Pac-Man World. So here with Crash Bandicoot Warp, I have finished with my participation on this marathon. So this is not the end of the fun stuff in the marathon. We're still having a good amount of amazing runs that we're gonna be watching later. So well, we're gonna be starting and with Yoku's Island Express, I think, based on the schedule. So by my part, this was everything. I was Go Senpai. This is Crash Bandicoot Warp, and really quick, I'm usually a classic PlayStation games runner and modern Nintendo games runner, but I used to consider myself mostly as a Bandicoot speedrunner. But Crash Bandicoot franchise is one of my main stuff on speedrunning, so well, my channel is UnFantasmaMas, just in case you wanna follow me. But also remember to follow the SpeedGaming channels, and remember to donate for the good cause, which is the No Kid Hungry organization. And well, that was everything by my part. I was Gon Senpai, and see you everybody. Peace. Have a great day.